All right, welcome back, you beautiful people, to this episode of RTHD, where I'll be unboxing the Xiaomi Redmi Note 12. Yeah, that was a lot to pronounce, and getting that name correct as well was a little bit difficult to practice and get going. But this is a phone that it came out, I think it's around June of this year, 2023. I now got it in my hands. I decided that I would unbox it. It's actually for my wife, and because she doesn't like the Samsung phones in terms of the durability, and so there was a recommendation to get this phone because it is fairly durable. And we're gonna, I guess, during the course of her using this phone, we'll see whether it works out to be, as good as they say or not. All right. So this is just an unboxing. Maybe you'll go through some of the specs. And with that being said, let's get into the video. Of course, we need to have the knife, and this is going to be impossible, of course, to keep this wrapper. What's cool about this phone is it also it came with this additional a car charger as well, which probably is not part of Xiaomi, the factory, but really something in addition when we ordered it on Amazon. And it's a really relatively decently priced phone at I believe it's about 140 150 US dollars. So it's a decent phone for the price, and let's see how it looks like. It is a 6 gigabyte RAM. It has 6 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of RAM. There are different specs. For example, there's a 4 gig RAM version. There's this 6 gig, and then I believe there's an 8 gig as well. So that's also available for purchase, and I guess the price will vary a little bit, but this is the one that we got, which is hopefully factory unlocked and so forth. So with that being said, I don't think there's more that I could mention other than the specs as well, which was I think it only supports up to 1080p video, which will be totally fine for her use. I hardly even use the 4K anyways, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. We want to see what the pictures look like as well too, coming from the A series of the Samsungs, which weren't really that good either. With that being said, let's see if we could get this thing opened easily. There's not much again on the box, as you could see, just basic specs here, which chances are the camera is not going to focus on, but some basic specs. And let's get to it. So this part seems to be like an aftermarket charger that was just included in as a bonus. So that's a nice touch from the seller, and it might be easier for me to open the top if I could get to it. So here we go. I always like to try to keep the plastics, but it's really hard to. This is just so shrink wrapped that it's nearly impossible to keep the plastics and pull it out of the box. So we're just gonna have to unbox this one entirely, pull off the plastics completely. All right, so there we have it. Well, that was quick. What's new? Okay. All right. So what else do we have? How do we open this box? Okay. So it's one of those normal ways you open. You shake a little bit and then you pull it open on the side. Right. And this is supposed to be an onyx gray color. So let's see what the onyx gray color is gonna look like. Right. Nice. I mean, this is usual. This is what most phones have. They have the package at the front, which is sort of mentioning the brand. This is the Redmi line, I believe, that they have. This is quite light. I'm kind of curious to see what's inside of this. So in this box, okay, so you get the SIM card removal tool, right? Which everybody has, all the phones have. And oh, it comes with its own case. If I knew that, my wife would not have spent on. She actually bought this extra case. All right, maybe more durable case. We'll see how this compares. This is likely going to be better than this. We'll see how that compares. And well, I think the case actually came with I think it might be a glass protector as well. So she ended up buying this part, and then she ended up, so a lot of Amazon sellers got extra money, and then she ended up buying this 3 glass pack as well. So she probably ends up with 4 glass packs, probably to last the lifetime of this phone, but we'll see how that goes. I don't want to jinx it. And here we have warranty card and some bare, very bare information. Nothing You know, this part, nothing really stands out. And you know, the black and white for me, I just really, I mean, not to criticize this particular phone, but generally, most phones they come with this black and white writing. It doesn't really appeal to me. Like I like a little bit of color, right? I like a little bit of color, like how you see in the front box, that kind of thing. That's a nice thing. I'm sure it's just cut down on the price of things. And here we have the phone, which is quite large, I must say. You could pull this thing out. Okay, so we just flip it out there, and here we have the phone. And what else is inside of this box? Oh, I realize that once you put this out, once you pull these things out, it's going to be very hard to put back together. Okay, so it comes with standard size USB cable, right? Which is nice. I don't know if I will leave this to her to unwrap because it might be nice for her to do that. And then it comes with a charger, which is awesome, right? Because like most of these Samsung phones, they tend to not want to come, well, especially the high-end phones tend to not want to come with the charger. And I can immediately see that this is a very nice looking charger. It's a nice looking charger. Also, it says 33 watts, so it means that it probably is able to do some seriously fast charging. So this is probably faster than my Samsung flagship Z Fold 4 that I have, which of course is 2 series down now, that only handles 25 watts, right? So this is kind of cool that it comes with what seems to be fast charging capabilities for a phone that is way much less than, you know, the Samsung phones as well, right? It's kind of it's biggish, right? But it's fine. And then let's see what else we have inside of here. Don't think we have anything else inside of there. So basically, not much of a manual, which is fine because most manuals now are found online. And I guess maybe we could probably, you know what? I'm just gonna unbox it because, well, what's the odds that you would just wanna pull that out and plug that in, right? So let's see if I could fit this back in. And we'll be back maybe to power up this phone and see what it looks like. All right, so we're back again, and I'm just looking at the original case that came with the phone, the Note 12, and I just had a look at it. I just like put it in just to see, and it does look like it will cover the majority of the phone and the edges as well. And this is nice because it you have to appreciate sometimes these clear cases because they keep the color of the phone and stuff. But what I do see is that there's a chance that the camera might I don't know if I could probably explain this by just let me see if I could put that in. So it might be just exact, like, I mean, that looks like it may protect the phone if it falls flat because of the little bezel here, which is good, right? But I don't think I would trust it as being like one of the durable cases per se. It's a decent case though. I think this is really nice that it came with this case. What I could tell you as well is compared to this one, this seems to be a more durable case, but it's likely going to add some weight as well. And this phone is already quite heavy. Like, this is as heavy as, like, this is double, obviously, like about double, but this is like heavy as well. So I don't know how else to explain this one, but and this of course is the Fold as well, right? So comparing it to the Fold, I find this is rather heavy compared to the A series phones that we normally get from Samsung. And obviously we're not comparing Samsung to Samsung here, we're comparing the Redmi. But what I like about the weight is it feels like it's an expensive phone. And that might sound really dumb, obviously, but what I mean is, like, it feels durable. It feels like it has things in it, it feels the way a phone should feel, which is not entirely light, right? Because it cheap, things that are cheap we sort of associate with being kind of light. not having components inside of it. It does not feel like that. It feels like it has a fair amount of components. It's probably the battery and stuff in there that is giving it the space. So I guess before I put on this, what I noticed about this case, which I don't think has a brand, or else I would have told you guys. This case of course comes with a kickstand, which this doesn't have, so that's probably going to be useful when she has our son looking at shows and stuff like that, and trying to distract him and stuff like that. You could kickstand, and put this thing in and use it. So this is nice. Plus, I'm pretty sure that the bezel here is kind of wrapped a little bit more around the phone when you put this in, so this case is not going to fall out very easily as well. So it's something to consider when you're going to buy a case for the phone. Especially, I guess females may not want the bulk of a thick case, but this thick case is like, hopefully for kid safety, right? Safety while being around kids. With that being said, let's power on this phone. There's a noticeable power button, just like any other phone out there. It kind of feels like plastic, but it's really well done. And this is onyx gray, I believe, but it looks quite black to me, and there's this nice little shine. Hope you can see that nice little shine there, which kind of looks blue on the camera. So it's probably that special color. Anyways, front camera and a few cameras on the back, and one which says 50 megapixels as well. So based on what I'm seeing on the specs, there is the front camera, which I'm going to look through right now, which says selfie camera, 8 megapixels, f2.1 wide, right? And it can do 1080p, 30 frames per second. And on the back side, which we just looked at, there are a 2 megapixel macro, there's an 8 megapixel f2.2 120 ultra wide, and then there's also the 50 megapixel f1.8. What I do notice from this is, of course, it is an absolute fingerprint shower. As you can see, I just touched it, but my hands are usually sweatier than most people's hands, and as you can see, already see the smudges on the phone, which is quite normal as well too. But let's power this thing on. I don't think there's anything else that is of noticeable difference here, so yeah, let's power this thing on. See how bright it is on startup. Okay, yeah, I got it now. I feel a vibration. There we go. So now we have it booting. Sorry about the lighting. I'm gonna have to move this to the right here so that the light is not affecting it. It doesn't seem bright. It doesn't seem that bright to me offhand. So I'm hoping that it's going to be brighter than this, because it's quite right here. Is not the brightest. The atmospheric environment is not the brightest. So this should hopefully. I'm hoping, okay, fairly bright, decent. It's not, again, like, this looks okay, right? This looks okay, but like I feel like I could feel that it's not bright compared to a flagship phone like the Android, the Samsung Z Fold 4 that I have. Like, let me see let me see if we could compare it. Sorry about the marks, but this is. And obviously a black background. Okay, so this is, I mean, and this could get bright. This is not the brightest. Let's see what the brightest looks like. Like, yeah, can you notice, like, this white is a lot whiter than this. I mean, for the price that you're paying for this, which is like a quarter, if not 1/8 the price of what you see here, this doesn't look extremely bright. But we'll have to go into the settings as well and see whether we can up it to this brightness. But like, maybe I could give a better example by going to a page that might be white. Like, that's if I could even find a page that is white, because like there's, oh, we probably have to come back to this. I don't want to waste time on this, but we'll come back to the brightness of it. So it seems to have its own like UI that probably is built on top of Android, right? So this is what you're seeing here, the MI UI 14, and it's asking me, of course, for the language. So we're going to go through what that is as well. It's automatically defaulting to English United Kingdom. I think that would be fine. So I believe, oh, I guess we go, no. Yeah, we go next. So gonna ask me for the region. That looks correct as well. Somehow it's been able to detect the region, even though it was not. Wow, that's quite interesting. I guess the GPS might have kicked in and said that we were in Trinidad and Tobago. So that's kind of, yeah, it's kind of smart that they did that. Okay, so setting the region. It's asking what type of keyboard, the Google board or the Google voice typing. Simple stuff, basic stuff. Terms of service, which which everybody reads, right? Like everybody reads the terms of services. So I'm just gonna accept it. That's the privacy policy. Chances are we probably just gave all of this information to, I don't know, China maybe, if this is a Chinese company. And it says insert SIM. Of course, we don't have a SIM in. My wife is not here, so we can't put in the SIM. It did come with 40. I see 40. And now I see this 47. I don't know. You probably can't focus on this either, but there is 47% battery life, which is nice. So it kept some of the battery life, half of the battery life, and we're going to charge that. And then there's a little icon that says there's no SIM. And again, we don't have a SIM, so we want to skip that. So there's an option here to skip the step. And I guess you could just go next, right? And then it asks me to connect to the network. I'm going to do that because we probably could try. I don't know if we'll be able to try a speed test without setting this up with a Google account. So I may set up with my account, and then we'll see how it goes. So one of the things that I noticed it detects is like it detects when the Wi-Fi is 5G and it says 5G on the side. What I do like is it does not show the full text for some of the Wi-Fi networks. Which I think the UI interface should show, because you can mix it up if there's different names. But we're gonna connect to the 5G. I'm gonna put in my password really quickly, and then we'll be back again once it connects. Okay, ready to connect. Let's try it. Let's see how fast this thing does its connection. Okay, connected. Awesome. All right, so we go next again. Surprisingly, it has not. Okay, so now it reached the point where I guess it's going to ask me to set up a Google account. So here's where it's going to take a few seconds. Let's see how long. It's taking quite long. Maybe it's checking for updates. But I mean, while we're doing that, I think what the specs for this phone in terms of the CPU is... Oh, I'm trying to find it. It seems to be an octa-core, which is 8 cores. There's 2 by 2.0 gigahertz Cortex 875, and then there's 6 by 1.8 gigahertz Cortex 8A55. I haven't really compared or did benchmarking tests per core, but it seems to be that. I mean, that sounds good to me. That has 8 cores and it's 6 gigs of RAM. It's asking me to do the usual setup. This UI part I think comes in with Google as well, right? So from this point on, it's kind of standard stuff. Don't copy, because we don't want to copy any data right now. Checking info. Info went in a little bit, hopefully fast. Okay, setting up takes some time. All right, so we reached the point where I'm likely going to try to set this thing up with my own account. So that would be... Now there's a nice haptic feedback happening, which is obviously can't be seen on the screen, meaning that there's vibrations happening. I like the vibration that I feel. All right, next. It's going to ask me for my password, and then I'm going to have to do a 2-factor. So I will be back after I do that. All right, it's back, and the 2-factor went on really fine. And I really, really like how this phone, the accuracy of the keyboard, like the phone itself is, to me, it feels a whole lot wider than the Z Fold 4, which has a very thin phone screen. And I have to tell you, I really do, coming back to this phone, appreciate the wideness of the phone while typing. I guess you can't get the best of both worlds, and so the Z Fold has its issues. Let me put it that way. But back to the Redmi here. So what I also like is it's rather thin, and I should have pointed that out before. This thing is fairly thin. Like, I think even the camera does some justice to how thin this phone is. Like, this is as thin as... as this part of the charger. That's how well, okay, maybe a little bit more, but like it's noticeably thin, guys, right? Which is nice. And yeah, it feels really flat and nice on your hand. Like flat is good. Like sometimes you want something ergonomic and curved, but this is really nice. And it does have its curves, obviously, but it feels really nice on my hand. All right, so we're gonna agree. Let's see how long it takes to, as you can see, it's doing something there. It's getting the info on the account ready. And I think we could continue with maybe doing a speed test now that I have an account in, and we could probably download a few apps and see how it goes. And before I give her it back, I will, of course, factory reset it accordingly to that. It's going to do some things like it asks me for the basic setup. So these things, I don't think we want basic backup and all the stuff. Allow scanning, send diagnostic data. We probably don't want that. And install and update apps. So let's click connect, accept, sorry, set a screen lock. We'll skip that just because she could do that on her own. And so far, nothing seems extremely difficult. The only thing that seems difficult to set up this phone for someone who doesn't have any idea is to create a Gmail account and then put that Gmail account in here. It asks you keep going to get your device fully set up or leave now and get a reminder. Let's continue because I have no clue what they mean by keep going. Like what else do they need? It says okay, so access to Google Assistant. We could skip that. I hardly ever use Google Assistant on my phone, and the chances are it's going to use a lot of battery and CPU resources when you choose it, right? So you could skip it again. That's to tell it to unlock with your voice. I don't think we need all of that. I noticed that the battery so far in this time of this video from 47%, which has gone down to 45% so far. But this is of course without a full charge. This is like whatever was, the phone came with whatever charge. So maybe it's just that the battery needs to prime before it will have a lot of a lot of storage time and sorry, not storage time, but processing time and that kind of thing. Now, I want to mention something based on the battery, which is, I guess we could probably spec the size of the battery. And the battery online, it says 5,000 milliamp hours, right? Which is a lot to fit in a phone. So that would explain why this is probably heavy, plus the camera unit, etc. And it's not heavy bad, it's heavy good. At least masculine wise. I'm not sure if the females are gonna like it, like the weight of it, but that's how it is. Anything else that it's asking? No, thank you. And it's saying getting the phone ready. So let's wait and see how that works out. Now I look at the specs, and I don't know if the specs are wrong on what is it? The specs are wrong on GSM Arena, but it mentions 18 watts wired charging. However, I see a 33 watt phone charger, so I'm not exactly sure which one is right, but it looks, I would assume that it does 33 watts of charging. I don't know. I would hope so. Not something I could prove without maybe a device of some sort. Basic settings ask me what options I want enabled, automatic updates, personalized ads, maybe not. User experience program, have improved, no. MIU daemon permissions is used to improve system stability and performance. To be able to work normally, the service needs permission. Okay, so this is one of the things that makes, like, I'm a developer, and this stuff makes me worry because, like, this is good for battery life, this MIU daemon permission stuff, but there's a chance that this is gonna kill apps like more frequently than what Android was probably designed to do, to keep the phone running as long as possible using less resources as possible. But it's enabled, and I'm gonna leave it enabled and update apps automatically. You should probably always keep that one on. Automatic system updates, yes, and location, yes, that's fine. It actually has different launchers. So there's the classic launcher, which allows you to swipe left and right, and it seems that there's another launcher which I have no idea what this does. Okay, so it pulls upwards. You pull upward to get your apps. What's the difference? To me, that is how it normally works. I guess like my phone, it does both of these as one. I think we'll go to app drawer. So you slide upwards when you want all of the apps. I think that's how we are accustomed with it. So we'll go with that, and it's saying preparing. So this is nice. Now, you notice we have a white background here, like a white background, right? As you can see, it's cloth, right? And there's like a hue. So this is white, but this is a different color white. Now I'm trying to figure out, I don't think that is the lighting of, or anything like that. I think that there is a slight hue or maybe a reflection of the screen. So even though the screen, like if I look with my head over, it actually looks whiter, believe it or not. I know that sounds crazy. It looks actually whiter. This area looks whiter than this area. So it is a perfect white if you're facing directly. However, it seems that the light is somehow hitting the screen and refracting, and it's causing that hue, which is not seen by the naked eye. I don't know what that is. Like, I don't understand the science behind that, but that's how it is. Okay. All right. So with that being said, it's a perfectly white phone and it's bright. Okay. Let's click next. It says setup is complete, and there we go. We have the standard look, and something is booting up here. It's showing me a little loading screen, and it looks fine. I have to say that as well, this, in terms of speed, this seems totally fine. It works good. Like, I would say for the price, definitely better than the Samsung A series, like the A03s, A04s. Terrible speed. Boot time, horrible compared to this. This booted really fast, and it loaded on the screen really fast, and it came with some apps as well from what I'm seeing here. We have the standard Google apps. If I do that, I should get all of the apps. I see Candy Crush and games. So it comes with a little bit of bloatware. Yeah, it comes with like a lot of games, I find. Like, wow, okay, even if it comes with the file manager, it comes with a lot of stuff. Which we don't need. LinkedIn is there. Why? Netflix is there. Why? We don't really need that, but I guess it's part of the, it might be part of the hype of a phone that has everything is installed. Look, there's even TikTok already there. What? Like, I'm fine with maybe WPS Office, because that might be fine, but like there's a lot of games and a lot of things that don't necessarily need to be there, and it seems that it just reorganized itself, so things are getting installed in the background. Yes, it is. We see some things happening. It said 13 updates and completed installation. All right, with that being said, let's get to some something a little bit more techy, which is we probably want to do a speed test and see what this looks like. Now, don't get me wrong, the camera is far away. This phone is big. My hands are big, so it makes this phone look small, but this phone is huge for what I would think the ladies would like. This phone is 6.7 inches in I guess it's diameter, right? Not diameter, sorry. It's for diagonally. So it's bigger than the average, even the average Samsung phones that are out there. So don't be fooled by just this is far away from the camera. That's why it looks small, but it's not small. It's quite large, quite perfect for like even watching a movie, watching videos, that kind of thing. This is going to work out really, really well. So let's have a look at speed test. Let's see how long it takes to even download and install speed test. One of the things I noticed with when installing things with Samsung is that it takes a while to install. Like, it downloads fast, but then it takes a while to install on some of my phones. So I want to see it saying pending. So I think it's pending because there's a lot more updates happening in the background. Hopefully that's not going to spoil this video, but you see, I also see some alerts popping up as well too. So I guess I'll pause the video until that time. I've spoken enough. Alright, back again. So it installed really fast compared to like the Samsung, and I suspect, I'm just guessing here that maybe the Samsung, because of the security levels of Samsung, it takes longer to install apps. But this did a fabulous job at installing. We're going to test the speed test and see what it looks like. I'm going to test to, I don't know what this is. Some accuracy thing. I don't know why it's asking me if speed tests should make calls or manage calls. I'll say no to that. I don't know why they want that. And help us build global. Do not now continue. Goodness gracious me. All right, good. So we're here to the standard screen, and we're gonna ask this. We're gonna test a location in Miami, so I get a good. Okay, you know what? No, let's just go the local test first, right? The local ISP that we have here in Trinidad and Tobago. That will give us a fair idea of how much this could handle. My connection is a 200 megabit connection, so let's see how far we could get to 200 megabits. Now remember, this is going over the Wi-Fi, so it may not be able to top these speeds, but we'll see how it goes from there. Okay, so connecting, let's go. Okay, so it went up now. So it could have been that something was downloading and it was using some of it. So it seems to be working fine now. So I would say there's no problem here. Just a little bit of a glitch while testing it out. So yeah, it seems that you can get your 100 megabit downloads off of this phone, and it works fine. Very, very smooth. I'm not having any issues. UI is a little bit different. Because, like, for example, Samsung just has single ones we could slide in between. I don't know why they did this, but they did, because, like, okay, all right. What else? Is there anything else? Whoa, we need to check the browser. We need to look at what the browser is. Loading really super fast, as you could see. I'm not going to. Well, I could turn on sync. That's fine as well. Let's see what it looks like. I mean, there's so much pop-ups. Why do they need all of these pop-ups? Okay. Let's load YouTube. Let's see what YouTube looks like. This the phone is. You can tell it's really powerful, and it loads pretty fast, and let's have a look at. It doesn't want to rotate for itself. Whoop-de-doo. Right, so it rotates now, and this is what that looks like. All right. Now, brightness wise, I think this is a little bit brighter. You can see that it's, but I mean, this is a flagship 4 or 5 times price phone than this. I want to have a look at how clean this looks. Like right now, I can't face it directly, and if I look at it, it's the screen colors are fine, but it let's check on him. Let's see what this looks like. He normally has good videos. Yeah, decent. It's decent. You shouldn't have a problem with it. Overall, I would give this phone, for what it is, it seems to be. I like it. I would have it as a backup phone, definitely. There's also cameras. Maybe we should check before we close off. Let's see what the cameras look like. The camera phone settings, if I could find it. It looks like it comes with its own app. And I see there's like zoom, for example. So it's right now, you know, it's right now it's, you can 0.6, you zoom out 1. Okay, there's a noticeable lag when switching from 0.6 to 0.1. Maybe that is because it's switching the lens here. Now remember again, whoa, but that is really clean. That's the macro lens. Wow, guys, that is really, really clean. I'm gonna take a shot of my gross fingers just to show how clean that looks. I think that might actually even be better than my the Z Fold one. So the macro lens looks really good, and video, I want to check the video settings really, really quick as well too. So the video settings, that we're reviewing the video settings real quick. Yeah, it does have the option for 720p 30 frames per second and 1080p 30 frames per second. It doesn't seem to be able to go any more than 30 frames per second. So if you're gonna use this phone for like vlogging, I would say that yes, you could do, you know, vlogging, but chances are to give the user a good experience, you might want to give them 60 frames per second, which this does not seem to allow. But otherwise, it seems fine. Should I take a picture? Yes. Let's look at the selfie camera, which I'm probably going to look terrible at the moment. But let's switch to the selfie camera for a second. Whoa, the selfie camera is quite bright. It looks pretty good. You can see me there, kind of in the background there. Really nice. But there's a lot of lighting, and it does, wow, make me look like 100 years older than I should be looking. I should take a picture of maybe like maybe my living room or something like that, and then I'll come back. Yeah. Try to hide myself in this thing. Let's just have a look at what it looks like. There we go. Took a picture. It was fast, quite fast. Didn't lag in any way, and there's different modes for the pictures as well, like night mode, portrait, that kind of thing. So, but I like it. It looks really nice. And flipping back over, I'm gonna take a picture of like, and hopefully I'll show that on the video as well. But I'm gonna take a picture of my living room, and I'll also show that on the video as well. But I like it. It looks good. It's quite impressive. This is a weird aspect ratio, but check this out. Like, it's clean. It's really, really clean. Like, I would say this is probably even better than the Z Fold, the Z Fold camera. Yeah, I'd say so. So this is awesome for, I would say, for my wife, because like we love to take pics of my son Reese and like videos, and this I hope is gonna come in handy, because you want to have nice videos and pictures of the family and so forth. I hope that I covered most of it. There's obviously, this is just the tip of the iceberg. It's gone 40 minutes already into this video. This is a tip of the iceberg in terms of what it has. Because we just touched on the absolute basics of the camera, we touched the absolute basics of the network. I kind of mentioned the speed of the phone, fabulous speed. I would say I would recommend this. Like, I would recommend this to my mom. I would recommend this to my family members who may not fully understand or know how to use every single piece of it. It's totally fine. The only thing is that if you were like, into media and you need 4K video, this would not be the phone for you. But otherwise, really awesome phone, really good price. Impressed by it. And let's, maybe there might be a follow-up on how long it lasts my wife, or maybe if my wife ever decides to like help me post videos or record or stuff like that, then that would be nice as well too, because then you get to see more about more of this phone. With that being said, there's a newer version of this, which is I believe the Note 13 that is out, but I couldn't even find that one on Amazon, so maybe it didn't release on Amazon, or just more expensive. But with that being said, thank you so much for viewing, and I'll see you guys on another episode of RTHD coming to a YouTube screen near you. Take care. Bye bye.